Today we are going to be replacing some vent covers on a fifth wheel. We're going to change the cover on a Fantastic fan, just the cover, not the whole system. And then we're going to possibly tackle just a bathroom vent, a standard one. Here we go. And we're going to start inside. So going up into this camper, you'll see that bucket up there. That is covering the bathroom vent, and which is damaged. So they just put that cover over there just to keep water from coming down the inside. And then we're also going to head in and take our ladder here and get up here and open this vent. So these Fantastic fans generally have, see if we can get a little light up here for you. So these generally work automatically, but if you need to manually open them, there we go. So we're going to replace that cover, and we also have a screen for this. And so hopefully that one's straightforward. Doesn't seem like the fan works anymore, but we're going to get the cover replaced. Fan does work. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that, but fan is working up there. But the raise and lower function does not work. But at least the fan works for them. So let's put our ladder up and we're going to head on up. So we're going to pop this new screen inside, which you'll see just has tabs here, because that screen inside there is missing. These are extra screws. So generally these covers here aren't too bad. Once the cover's up, you remove the screws across the back, and then the whole cover just slides down, pops through this area here on this roller, and then you'll slide the new one back in, reattach the screws, and you're good to go on that one. And then we're going to pull that bucket off of the other one and really take a good look at it, because we're not 100% sure yet that this cover is going to work. This is more of a universal cover, but not sure it's going to work, but we'll see. So before we go up on this roof, we're going to kick the old Crocs into four-wheel drive. And the reason, we probably said before why we wear Crocs, at least when weather's permitting, is when we're on roofs, they're very soft bottom, and when a roof is super hot, you're not going to break it. So we're going to grab knee pad, and I'm going to use a screwdriver on this instead of a drill, just to don't need to strip anything. It's 4 screws, and 9-in-1 screwdriver should be plenty for what we're doing up there. So here we go, cover number 1. Screws down here. So these are the 4 screws that we're going to be taking out, and we'll put this cover off here, and we'll get the new cover on. And so see if we can show you the inside here. It just pulls up And let's get repositioned here. Go around the other side. See if we can show you. So, hard to get in there at that, but see if you can. Just gonna roll that up. That comes right off there. And we'll take our broom here and gonna get some of the gunk out of this. There we go. So here's old and busted. Now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to slide that wheel right here into this groove, and then that slides right down. Then we just screw this in. We take the protective cover off. We'll go inside, and then we'll now we got that in. And now all we have to do is go back to the other side, screw it down. And that'll be one cover complete. And the next cover is over there. And that one is completely shattered. My guess is it probably got hit by a branch at some point. And then we're going to show you another issue we ran into, or another concern that I have. So we'll get that in there. But this is going straight into the plastic. It's not going into the roof. These are very short screws. So we're going to snug these down, and then we're going to head back inside and put our, we're going to get our fan screen installed and take that off, and that cover install, other than the fan cover inside, is complete. And let's take you over here and we're going to show you the next one we're about to do. But this one is done, so set that over there. Now this one here, this is pretty rough, so we're gonna clean this off a little bit here. So remember, when you're doing these covers also, these covers flip up towards the front. So if they flip up the wrong way, then what we have is well, we have a lot of issues, but the biggest issue is that it will be going in a completely opposite direction. So if you were traveling with this camper, this one happens to be stationary, but if you were traveling with it, then it would rip the cover off if you happen to leave it open. But you know, like we always say, if you're in a high wind, even if you're a stationary and seasonal camper, and you know your camper doesn't really go anywhere anymore, you still want to do your due diligence and make sure that you are keeping these closed so they don't get torn off. Like I said, I believe this one got hit by a branch. So I'm hoping that once we get this up, we can get it out of there. I'm going to go back down, I'm going to crank this up, then that should slide right out of that, and we should be able to slide the new one right in. So I'm hoping that the cover I bought will indeed work. So we're going to find out in a minute. I'm going to head back down. I'm going to finish up that fantastic vent real quick, and then we're going to take some pictures of the next thing. So the next concern I have is I'm going to bring a tape measure back up with me, and I'm going to measure this, because this is not good. So what happens is there's two shells. There's the shell here that goes around this, and then there's an inner shell. So what's happening right now is this is basically filling up with water, and even though this is a two-piece design, the water really has nowhere to go. So it's sitting in here, and my gut is telling me it's probably seeping into the ceiling here or leaking down. The shower's right below this, so maybe it's leaking down into the shower, but it's just going to cause more issues later. So we're gonna get a measurement from here to here and here to here, and we'll work up a quote for this customer, and we'll see what they want to do with that. My gut is telling me that maybe I should take this, put it over the top of this for now instead of taking that down, at least protecting it like they had that protected, and then we'll go from there. But let's finish this one up, or let's finish that one over there up, then we'll finish this one up. Then I'll take some measurements on this, and we'll see if we can help this customer get this roof re-secured from water intrusion. But let's continue. All right, let's grab this. It's got a little grease on it there. There we go. All right. So let's get back up here. Hopefully you can see. I apologize, I didn't bring my light back in. But just go like this. So it's hard to see, but here's a little tab that helps you pull this cover down. So pop that in. Now they got a screen again, and they're good to go. All right, so screen's on. Let's just test the fan one more time. The fan definitely works, but the screen can only be raised manually. So we got it pushed for auto. Let's try this one more time. Try the fan again. So when you pull it, you are able to close it, and now we're closed. I'm going to push that back up, leave it in position where they had it, and they are good. They've got a good cover now. Lets a little bit of light in, and we're going to head on to the next, but that is that. And again, I'm not sure why that isn't working, but we're on to the next. So let's get back into here. So this is the cover we're working on here. So what we're going to do is we're going to raise this up high as possible, and then I'm going to go back up there. I'm going to pop that cover off. I should be able to slide it out of that once I get it off there. I may have to, probably going to have to take this handle off real quick and pop this down, because we need to get to those two screws right there so we can lift that handle. So take this off first. There we go. We'll set that over here. I'm going to take this cover off real quick. So everything we're doing here is just about getting to those two screws so we can manipulate that bracket. And then once we're up on the roof, that's not moving very well, so let's switch to a square bit. There it goes. It's a number 1 square. This is a number 2. There we go. Nice. Get these over here. So as I'm sitting here, I'm just kind of assessing our situation. And be careful when you open these. You never know what you're going to find inside of them, especially after there's been extensive damage like this to a lid. So, and you never know what's living up there either. So we were in Texas, I'd be thinking about black widows or any other pesky spider. Here it's brown recluses and stink bugs. All right. Don't want to lose any screws into the toilet. So put the lid down. Camera probably isn't going to show that, but lots of nice webs on there. Okay, here we go. We're going to bring this down a little bit. We're going to let this hang just because I only need access to 2 screws and this thing is pretty stuck. See, there we go. Still had a couple threads on it. So now what I need to do is I need to unscrew that. So take our screwdriver here. Do that. So now I can pop that off there, let that rest. Now we're going to go back on the roof. I'm also going to bring some needle nose up just in case. And I do have my multi-tool as always. But let's bring this up. Let's see what we got now. So now in all essence, this should slide out. And if you see here, I don't know how, again, I don't know how it's going to show up on camera, but we've got this little bit there. And then we slide it right out. Okay. So let's take our broom and we're going to clean that up a little bit more. All right. So now the new one is just going to slide in. Just like that. And then we'll grab this. So that is going to fit there. So now what we're going to do here is we're just going to take this, we're going to bend it up, and all we're doing is keeping that from sliding. Do the same thing on this side. There. Now that keeps us from sliding. So now we're going to bring this back here. We're going to, similar to that other fan we did, slide that in there. And now we're going to go inside and finish that up. I'm going to, first though, we're going to measure this cover here. So we're at 18 by 18 on that cover. We're going to take some pictures of it, and then I'm going to take this and that the customer had over the top of the other one, and we're going to take it and place it over the top of this and see if we can stop some of that water intrusion. So how you do this one is you have to scrape all of that old die core off around there, clean up around the bottom, unscrew this from the top, and then hope there's no damage under it. Then screw the new cover in, re-die core it, and then you're done with that. And these skylights can be anywhere from really cheap ones for, you know, $100 to $200, and depending on how much trouble we run into, it takes about an hour, hour and a half to replace it. So, but for now, we're going to take this and we're going to put it over that. All right, so now we're going to go back down, take all our stuff with us. We are done on the roof, and what we're going to do now is we're going to go back inside the rig, and we're going to put the inside of our, basically reverse the steps we did to get to that point. Get this packing stuff out of here, secure our tools. There we go. Slide this on. There we go. Love it when a plan comes together. All right, so now we will get our screen reinstalled here. And we lost our bolt, which is why we just said earlier, always clean the, or always keep the toilet lid closed. Cover here. Get this back installed. We'll get our screw started, and then we'll go diagonally over this one. We'll get this one started, and then we will carry on. There we go. Installed. Now we're going to do a little cleanup in here and call it a day on this job at least. And then we're on to the next one. Until next time, this has been Drew with Mission RV Services. If you found these videos helpful, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you smash the thumbs up and like this video. Or maybe even share this video with some your RVing friends that might need to do this themselves.